Go live. We're live. We're preparing. Our meeting is streaming on Facebook. Hey, Jason.
There.
Hey, everybody. This is Friday happy hour with Northern Colorado private Facebook virtual happy hour with our group, which is Northern Colorado Small Business Prevail and Prosper. And I hope that some of you jump on today because I have a really special, amazingly knowledgeable and talented and skilled person that we're going to ask some questions to. And this is Jason with Iconic Digital Studios.
You got it.
Did I get it right? It's pretty good that I did. So everybody, I'm going to talk for a couple seconds here, Jason, and then I'll turn everything over to you, okay?
Uh-oh, okay.
Well, we'll go back and forth. I mean, no big deal. But everyone, I just want to take a minute. Like, I haven't really talked much about what I do and been interviewing everybody else and trying to grow the group a bit. And we still have a long way to go, but it's been really fun getting to know everybody in the group. And I just want to share a little bit about what I do because it relates to why Jason is here. And one of the things I do is I have a digital marketing company here in Northern Colorado based in Fort Collins. And we do a lot of different things, all things marketing, which I will at some point go more in depth about in another interview. But today, Jason is here because Jason and I have basically partnered together. He is brilliant when it comes to a number of things, but a lot of things, right, Jason? But most specifically SEO, which is search engine optimization for your website. And if you don't know what that is, it basically means that it's a process that optimizes your website on the Google search engine, the search engine of Google, and it helps you rank so that when people are looking for you, you actually show up, which is a significant important facet to your marketing, right? So, and also he does some amazing video, and we'll talk about that as we get through this conversation. But he is running the entire SEO team. Everything that I do with SEO, Jason and I work together and he handles all of it. So we thought we would come on today and really talk. I mean, if anybody gets on and has questions, we can answer all of those questions, or Jason for sure can. I can talk about it, but he will be able to take a deep dive into it. And so I am so excited about this partnership because we work really, really well together. He's able to deliver results that no one has ever been able to deliver that I've worked with before. And it's just a dream working with you. I love it. So thank you so much for taking time to be here today.
Thank you for all the kind words and build-up. I'm feeling pretty important about right now. So.
You are important. What would the world do without you?
Well,
first of all,
it would manage. I'm sure.
No, you know what? Because this is really this is like a serious thing, actually. There's nothing worse. And everybody in digital, okay, I'm just going to address this at the get-go, okay? Pretty much everybody who's ever hired a marketing agency, whether it's a big box marketing agency or a little agency, like the ones that we run here in Northern Colorado, everybody has been, how can I say nicely, promised something they didn't receive. A lot of people have been overpromised and underdelivered too. So there are a lot of people who are really jaded about the entire digital marketing scene, right? If that's Facebook ads, PPC, SEO, a lot of people don't even understand what they're paying for with search engine optimization. So I've worked with a number of different people on the back end to do SEO, and it can be expensive and it can take a long time. And never have I had an experience where not only did someone promise that they would deliver something, actually guarantee they would deliver something, but they actually do it. So that is definitely my approach in all things digital marketing, and when I'm handling all the other facets of it. So having this piece fulfilled so consistently and gloriously has just been, a game changer for me. So that is of no little value. You should feel important, because people can, what else matters? I mean, a lot of other things, but what else matters with your business if no one can find you?
And you're right. You're actually, it's actually a really good point. The SEO business in general is really got a bad reputation. Now there are people that have struggled with it, and the majority of the clients that I've worked with you and clients of my own generally are people that have already tried it before with another company. It's not working for one way or another. And so we bring that on a little bit tainted to begin with. In other words, they have high expectations and are a little disgruntled usually to begin with, because of all the circumstances. So to be able to step in and take a look at the basic infrastructure on a website, what's going on, is something that we're really good at doing. And there are not every website is created equal. Every has different issues.
That's an understatement, Jason. Yeah.
Being nice. Some designs are great. Other designs are not. But it actually really starts more with the design than people might think. Google came up with an algorithm, I'd say probably about 4 or 5 years ago, that we noticed. We have a whole bunch of clients that are running simultaneously in our campaign. And so it gives us kind of this snapshot view of results. And what we were seeing in all the local results in some of the local business websites is we were seeing a real decline in traffic all of a sudden in 1 month. And so one of the team members jumped on there and took a look at the common denominator, and we went and looked at every single website. It turns out that the websites that were suffering were older designs, not real pretty kind of designs. In other words, they just were real basic and not real user friendly. And so Google had come up with a algorithm, for lack of a better term, was spotting ugly websites. And so kind of figured that out. We contacted the clients, and the ones that went ahead and went with a recommendation to do a new redesign, shortly thereafter, we did see the traffic start going right back up. And the ones that didn't, that traffic kept in decline. And so, sometimes it can be something as simple as that, but most of the time it's never one silver bullet. I mean, it's probably 1,000 different factors, and certainly about 500 different algorithms going on in a single year that Google is analyzing and paying attention to. Now, I'd say there's probably about 12 of those algorithms that are real game changers every single year, that if we don't pay attention to, we may be doing well with the site at one point, but we could lose traction somewhere if we're not adjusting to what's going on. So that's always a constant challenge in our world, and it's important to be plugged in at all times, to see and manage what's changing.
Yeah, let's just kind of jump right into that, if that's okay, and then we can kind of integrate some of the foundational aspects of SEO in general as we go. But this is really relevant and timely.
Oh, yeah.
The issue of staying current. And I just received a new potential client that we were discussing earlier. He sent me another article, and he's really doing his research. He shared a number of proposals that he's received. And here's the thing about clients who are intelligent and want to learn. It's great. And oftentimes, actually most of the time, I argue that they just need to focus on their business and let us worry about the SEO, because when they start learning, they become interested, they can go down all these rabbit holes and think they're understanding what's going on and make poor decisions. And they don't really know. I mean this in the kindest way, but when you don't know the right questions to ask, it can all seem like you're just being led down, you know, an insane journey, because like the proposals I was looking at and the things these people are sharing with them are almost designed to confuse the client. Whereas all I want to say to this person and everyone is, yes, what's going on with the pandemic and the keyword COVID and everything related to it is affecting everything. And that, you know, your search engine optimization is no exception. And this is what we need to do about it. Like, people are making rash decisions that I want your opinion on this, but in my opinion, it's kind of the tortoise and the hare. Like, if you stay foundational and you keep doing the things that we know work, and we just keep slowly and gradually moving forward, focusing on your specific niche, on that little tribe of people that you are trying to engage. Don't waste your time like being all over the globe with, oh my gosh, I have to jump on this COVID bandwagon. Well, I might be completely wrong, so tell me, but I just feel like those who just keep going, focus on those people that are still going to buy your services, you're going to just steadily improve.
Well, I think you're exactly right. I mean, COVID hasn't changed who your target audience is based on your business demographic. And so everything that you were doing before applies now. The big difference that has changed in this last 90 days is I think that it's become clear that if you are not online, or you're not capitalizing on your online presence and making sure that you're doing everything you can to be generating leads and traffic to your websites and to your social pages and this whole online digital marketing process, then people now realize they need to be. It's not going to be the first time and last time this happens. We're looking at something that may go on for a bit. We may have pauses and things, and if people don't react and change, it's going to be more than a third of all the businesses not reopening. It's going to start in the upwards of that 50% bracket. So it's more relevant now than it has ever been.
Yeah.
To get this figured out, and ultimately, people are coming back around to it, and at the same time, it's also creating a lot more competition.
Yeah.
Because we got everybody doing everything at the same time. So you got to make sure that you're doing things right, and you're with the right kind of strategy and program that makes sense. And so there's just so much that can be thrown at it, and understanding the difference between what you're trying to accomplish with social media versus what you're trying to accomplish with SEO versus what you're trying to accomplish with a Google AdWord campaign and pay-per-click ads. They're all reaching towards the same goal, but they have a different process, and they need to work in harmony and synergy with each other, or they could actually end up fighting against each other.
So let's talk about that a little bit. A couple of things. You and I have had a lot of conversations about this, and Jason and I are very much on the same page about this, that you guys, so if I come, there's so many things to talk about, but let's say I'll have people like call me up and say, I just want to run some Facebook ads or something, or I just want more likes on my Facebook page. So we always have the same conversation, which is, it's so essential that you lay a healthy foundation with your presence online prior to doing any kind of paid advertising. Because if you do not do that, you're just wasting your money. You're not optimizing those dollars. Everything needs to be based on an intelligent, cohesive marketing strategy, wherein each element that you engage with is tied into the one that should be coming before it. Okay. So I would argue that especially at this time when it's becoming extraordinarily crowded, and I'll tell you what, a lot of people are really distracted because they're no longer afraid to get on video. They've learned they can get on Zoom. A lot of people are jumping on their lives. They're more active on social, and that's great, but you're not going to get a return on your investment like that, okay? It's kind of a long process. So the single most important thing you could be doing right now is creating a solid foundation with search engine optimization, optimizing your website on Google. Do you agree?
Absolutely. And in fact, I like to use the analogy that if you had a dartboard and you're looking for the bullseye, what would be at the very center of that bullseye? And in so many cases, someone's own website, their own web presence being found on Google is going to be right at the heart of all that. And how you build those outer rings, will determine on the type of business that you're in. So something might work well on Facebook versus LinkedIn, if it's consumer based versus a B2B type service that you're doing. Video is become much more important as well, especially if you've got some type of educational service or process that you go through that people are going to be searching on YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, owned, of course, by Google. And so those two work hand in hand all the time. And, there used to be a lot of information out there about, well, if you produce a video and you put it up on your website, you're like 50 times more likely to rank on Google than without it. And maybe for a short period of time that was true, but then once again, Google changed those search results. So it's not necessarily about just climbing up the ladder that much quicker, although YouTube does show up in search results. And I have had things beat out certain keywords that I was after with a YouTube post versus trying to do a standard blog post, which you're competing against a lot more content out there. So there are certain topics and certain things that makes a whole lot of sense to do. And in reality, you need to be doing everything. You need
Absolutely.
to do everything, and you need a conversion tracking system on there that you can be monitoring and watching everything that's coming in, that's creating a little pie chart and letting you know, here's the leads coming in. You can track those conversions, and then at the end of the month, it tells you, flat out that here's what your SEO generated, here's what your lead generation campaign through Facebook generated, here's what LinkedIn did, and now you know where to really spend your money, and it's not just a shot in the dark at that point.
I have to interrupt just a second because you've said so many important things. Now you know where to spend your money. Okay, that it kind of comes down to that, everyone. I mean, the beauty of digital is analytics. The beauty of digital is data. The beauty of digital is you can run a campaign for 30, 60, 90 days and have feedback, so you've got a North Star, right?
I like that.
You know which way to go. The other thing is Google, let's just agree that Google truly is a jealous God. It is the king of the mountain. And you kind of have to do what Google tells you to do if you want Google to favor you. And that's why, like what Jason's talking about, if you're not in the background living, eating, and breathing search engine optimization, it's virtually impossible to stay up with the changing algorithms, and you have to be constantly collecting data and analyzing it, and then making those tweaks and the additions on the website and the content, and it goes on and on and on. But it does come back, and this is why, again, I really want to just emphasize that the foundation, so that you know where to spend your money. This is the biggest question I get all the time. I need the phone to ring. Well, there's a strategy behind that. We can't just click the turn on the switch or whatever. There are ways to do that, but you want to make sure that your website is solid first.
Well, and I'll throw out there on the whole budget front that SEO is a very low cost way to step into the digital marketing world initially.
Are you drinking? It's happy hour.
Yeah, I've got a glass of water, so I'm sticking with that for right now. It's not just like straight vodka or anything, I swear.
And I'm having my English tea.
Yes, so at any rate.
We're such lushes here in the
I know. It's late afternoon Friday party time. So
before you get back to that campaign, right?
Right. So but budget is it's really variable depending on the industry and depending on what you're trying to do, and it's hard to at any level take a certain dollar amount and say, well, if I spend this much, I expect this much in return, kind of thing. You only get to do that after you've been implementing a campaign for enough time to actually get that data back, and then try to figure out where to spend more money and how to tweak your campaign and how to go about the process. And many times a small business may have a product, it may be a health related product, it may be an energy supplement, who knows. They're competing against GNC and these great big companies.
Yeah.
$100,000 a month in advertising and getting stuff out there. And so to spend even $1,000 a month and try to compete with that, you have to be realistic. And that's where you've got to figure out and really target your strategy, get in there and target the right demographic, the right regions. Depending on a product, it might make more sense to be in California, really targeting something in that energy realm, or somebody that's really into health. If it's mountain bikes, Colorado might be a great place to do that. Utah, places like that you really want to go after your demographic in. So I think that's the biggest problem that I see is I see people just throwing money at the wind and hoping that based on what Google tells them that they should do, is the right thing. And I hate to say it, that's almost never the right thing, because when you get a Google rep on the phone, what they're trained to do is show you how to buy the most expensive clicks.
Right. Yeah.
Get on the top of that page, and that may not be the right strategy if you're not applying $100,000 of that campaign. You got every single dime count. So a lot of times it'll make more sense to lock in on a bid towards the bottom of the page, which could cost you half of what it might cost you up top, so that you can maximize and optimize your actual budget that you're working with. And so anyway, those are some really basic things that we try to steer people into and do. And it sounds like common sense, but unless you go through that process and understand it, you just won't know.
Yes, it is a process. There's just so many things to discuss. So the other piece of this is when you're talking about your website showing up, well, there's two things I want to say. One is that it comes back to some of the other things I've discussed in these other interviews with people that came up for different reasons, but really knowing who your audience is and not deceiving yourself, not thinking it's something that it isn't, because you really have, the more you can define that audience and then dig deep into the keywords and all the stuff you guys do in the back, that reduces your competition, right? Because the more you're focused and on a certain area and certain type of individual and your product or service or whatever, you're going to get better results. The other part that we tie into all this is the Google My Business page. It's a whole nother conversation, right?
Right. You got somebody coming in the back door here right now.
Okay, that's okay. I'm going to keep yakking away here. So when you pick up your phone. You guys, I know I've had this conversation before. Well, maybe not here, but when you're searching for something and you pick up your phone and you ask, hey Siri, you know, something near me, like you're looking for Asian restaurant near me, or Thai food near me, or SEO near me, or digital marketing, whatever you're looking for, attorney, restaurant, whatever. You see that 3 people come up in that box, right? You're going to see the ads at the top, and we'll have to do like a presentation on this. But anyway, what I want you to understand is every SEO campaign that we do, we're also tying in optimizing your Google My Business page. If you don't know what that is, I'll do a training on it or something. But everything works together. So putting the website and the Google My Business page with all the map building and all the links and all the stuff that's happening on the back end with SEO gives you a distinct advantage. Mm-hmm. So we are tying everything in together and making sure that that page is optimized almost like a miniature little website or a little billboard that's floating around out there. So we want everything to be integrated, and we want to leverage everything so that we can deliver the results that we're promising. And maybe you can share a little bit about the guarantee. Do you want to talk about that, or is that like?
Sure. No, absolutely. I mean, all of that, plays a role. And like we said, I mean, there's not just one thing that you do. It's not just your Google My Business being optimized. It's not just the on-page optimization within the website itself. It's not just the links that you're building to the website. It's a combination of everything. And so the guarantee that we've come up with that is unique to us in our industry is that we're
Nobody
not.
does this, you guys. Nobody does this, especially with SEO. Like this is very, very unique. Sorry to interrupt, but it's remarkable, honestly.
That's fine.
We're remarkable.
It is a point that needs to be hammered home. And before I kind of go there, what I have seen in the past is I've seen companies say, we'll get you on the first page in the first 30 days or so. And it's like, okay, sounds great from a marketing standpoint, but in reality, what are we really talking about there? What are we specifically talking about? What we're talking about is probably some very low value keywords that if you optimize your website for, that you can rank very quickly for on, in the Google results. The problem with that is now you take that prime real estate, like on your homepage, and you optimize it for some keyword that really isn't your core keyword that you want to go after. If you're a chiropractor, for example, you don't want to have a first page ranking in the first 30 days from your homepage that is, my back hurts, how do I go about finding a chiropractor? And that's the whole phrase, right? And that may be something that somebody actually types in and is valid, but you may only have 1 or 2 people that are actually searching for that. So obviously what you're going for is something that has got the city attached to it with the service. So it'd be Fort Collins chiropractor in or near Fort Collins, chiropractor around Fort Collins, things like that we consider to be more core keywords. And so the difference in the guarantee that we're providing is that we'll guarantee a minimum of 5 new relevant keywords each and every month. And that's just the minimum. And that means it has to rank either on the first or second page. Once it ranks on at least the second page, then we now have an opportunity to start moving those rankings up the ladder. And the idea being, of course, that over time, we want to get every single variation of every keyword known to mankind on that first page. So more realistically, we see somewhere between 7 to, I've seen as many as 15 or more rank on, new rankings come up that are considered to be very, very relevant rankings. So it's not unusual to have 100 or more first page rankings in the first year with the service that we're providing.
Yeah.
And that's something that you can see and reflects in the report that, is different and unique that I haven't seen anywhere else.
So our reports, if any of you wind up coming on board, it's amazing because you actually, it's so much fun because you have the baseline of where you start. It's kind of like if you start a fitness program or something and you're like, I did 10 reps or I did my plank for 30 seconds and now I can hold it for 3.5 minutes or whatever. You actually see the progress, and then you understand, oh my gosh, this investment really makes a difference. We had a report just come out, today or yesterday, and I couldn't believe it. Like, it was, I think about maybe 45 days ago, 60 at the most, we submitted some new keywords, and already like the position moved up 378 points or something. I mean, and you can see that this is how people are finding you, you know? These are the keywords you really have to rank for, and you can see the progress. So it's really fun. The other thing is, like, because initially when you said something about video and you said we can see results pretty quickly. So SEO does have a different kind of a timeline than what we like to think of as quickly. Everybody likes to think that quickly means next week. But like Jason is saying, it's, again, I relate it to the diet thing or the fitness thing. Like, sure, you can lose weight really fast by taking some kind of drug or something and starving yourself, but is that the long-term solution? And is that ultimately going to allow you to achieve the results you want, which is to get there and then maintain a certain level of visibility and just keep getting better? So let's talk about the timeline. Like, what can people expect? If I came to you today and you looked at my website and you're like, the design is great, but you're missing some kind of relevant keywords or whatever, but the basic design looks okay, what could I expect to happen? What is it like to work with you?
Well, our guarantee starts in the very first month. And so in the very first month of service, you would expect to see a minimum of 5 new relevant keyword phrases appear that haven't before, which we report on, and you're able to verify yourself in your own search engine and look at and test for yourself. So that happens starting month 1, which is always our most difficult month when we start out of the gate on our end. After that, it starts to build more momentum. It becomes a little bit easier for us to start to rank and gain more, traction. So that's when we start getting more into the 7 to 15 kind of realm.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite impressive. I mean, it never ceases to amaze me how effective the service could be, because after, let's say, a year or two, you've now got 100 to 200 new really good keyword rankings that you didn't have before. And then a client might come along, maybe it's a new marketing director that comes in and they cancel the program and say, well, I've got a buddy that does this, or, we're going to try something else. We've gotten everything out of this we can possibly do. So we don't change anything. We don't do anything. We just pause the service at that point. And many times we're still just kind of plugged into the analytics.
Mm-hmm.
And inevitably, a year or two later, people will come back to us and say, okay, yeah, we need your help again because we're not ranking you. So we turn that back on and we look at the analytics, and it's amazing that you can see after that first month, 2 months, 3 months down the road, we haven't changed a thing. We didn't revert back to anything. We left everything the way it was, but you see that traffic start to just slowly dip down over time. And, it's a true testament that knowing that what we're doing is actually working. And, the best part of this for me is like one of your clients I talked to in Dallas here a while back, or one of your Texas clients, was that they, from the very first month on, said that they were monitoring their website themselves. They noticed higher volumes of traffic coming to their site. They were getting more phone calls immediately. They said it was working. And that's the best reward of this whole thing, is to be able to take a small business and watch them grow and turn their business around based on using some basic techniques that can make all the difference in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to cost a fortune to do this. SEO is all over the board.
This is amazing. So I know that you've experienced this as well, but I don't think I have ever had a client that was not in some way, shape, or form just jaded by something that's happened to them in the digital marketing world, which is really unfortunate. I was talking to Matt Miley of Miley Law yesterday. I don't know if you saw that interview, but we were kind of joking about how attorneys have this, attorney jokes and the stigma involved. Well, digital marketing is way worse. Like, there's so many people that are not delivering professionally as they should be, that there's, we have a very bad reputation, honestly. So often when I interview with a client, like, they're mad, they're hurt, they're jaded, they're like, prove it to me, how are you going to prove it to me? Why are you any better or different? And it's very frustrating for them because they have no understanding of what they're fighting. They don't understand what's happened. They don't understand why whatever the campaign was didn't work, and they don't have time to learn about it. So we come in at a disadvantage often. And the one of the issues with search engine optimization has been, I've been spending, and I'm telling you, people spend a lot of money on search engine optimization. We have, what we're doing is so affordable, it's ridiculous. But I've talked to many people that are spending several $1,000s a month to optimize their website, and nothing has changed. And they have no proof of what has been done. And when they stop, the agencies do weird things. They'll literally do weird things on the back end that I don't even want to talk about, because it is that's what gives us a terrible name. So like Jason is saying, we never take away what we've done. What is yours, what is done is yours. The progress that is made is yours. This is you. We are working for you. And the value is just amazing. Like, I'm so happy that we're able to actually deliver what we promise. It's amazing relief, right? Because you want to be able to deliver for your clients.
Absolutely. Like I said, no better recognition than actually seeing something that's working, that's making a difference. And, there's so many clients we've worked with over the years. I mean, so many different stories I could give. One in particular that comes to mind was an insurance agent that came to us, and he was basically at his last legs as far as money goes. He had $600 to his name to spend.
Oh my God.
And he came to us and said, really got nothing to lose. I've never tried this before. I'm gonna throw the whole budget. And, we felt guilty even taking money, to do that. But he insisted. It's like, no, if this doesn't work, it doesn't matter. So I want you guys to at least get paid for what you're doing. Well, fast forward that agent not only turned his business around, but he put his business up for sale about 5-6 years after that, and had grown an extremely successful business. And now is relocated to New Mexico and was able to retire. And it was amazing to see those kind of results come in. Now, that was a little bit longer ago, so you're dealing probably with like 10 years ago, and that was before everybody and known to mankind jumped on board with SEO. So it was slightly a little bit different playing field. But the reality is, like I said before, there's more people jumping online and trying to figure out how to do life without going to the stores anymore, without interacting the way that we have with small business in the past. And so they're looking for solutions online now like they never have. And it doesn't matter what it is. It's everything now. And I think that trend is going to continue, unfortunately, for a while. So we've kind of been shown a little bit of a glimpse of the future potentially. And, it's time to adapt or die, more or less to that.
Exactly. It's no longer a luxury. It's no longer an option. It's like, let's talk in pandemic terms, okay? Metaphors. It's like you have to, it's your immunity for your business. Like you have to create health, foundational health for your business. And search engine optimization is that piece of it. And it is, we have made it incredibly affordable, you guys. Like, if you're interested and you want to learn more, Jason's happy to talk to you. I'm happy to talk to you. Nobody's on happy hour. We would be happy to talk to you now. I don't see anybody. But really, any questions or concerns that you have, it's time. It's just time to make sure you're taking care of yourself so that you can not only survive, but actually thrive. And the longer you wait, the longer it takes. It's just kind of a basic part of things now. It's not like the slight edge. There are other things that are going to become the slight edge, and some of those we don't even know. The market is so inundated with all. Okay, today I had a conversation with Biz West, and they're doing, how they do their what is it, their realtor convention or whatever it's called for real estate. They do all these different things, right? Well, I'm promoting a business here in town, and we're going to be a vendor at this real estate convention, and they can't do a live one. So he was showing me how the whole thing works online, the live event online, and it is amazing. I'm so excited about it because it's so much more efficient. It's so much more effective. We're taking artificial intelligence and we're applying it in a way that is relevant and helpful to everyone. It's the best positive use of AI, right? And we're engaging with it in a way that is going to be a lead gen that is powerful. So everything we do, this is an opportunity from my perspective for us to just like reevaluate like you are in everything else and say, how can I best see the advantage in a situation? How can I pivot? What are the basic things I can do intelligently with the budget I have to really position myself and my business in a long-term strategy so that I can thrive? And so SEO, who knew? Who knew the power?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think you summed it all up, pretty good. And I'm excited to keep going down this path with you and see what new results we can get for your existing clients and what results we can get for clients we don't even know that are coming on board yet. And that's always an interesting part of our job because we get to learn about so many different facets of different kinds of businesses. We're not just locked into one thing.
Yeah.
It might be fitness one day. It might be a hair salon another day. It might be a dumpster rental company another day. You just never know.
Mm-hmm. An attorney would. So SEO is a very technical part of this. And the really fun part about Jason that you guys probably don't even know, and I'm probably going to embarrass you, but I every time we talk, I embarrass him, I think. But Jason has a remarkable background, everyone, in the film industry, and he can tell you a little bit about that. But he was like a Hollywood documentary filmmaker, and I don't even know how much of this you want people to know, but he has so much talent and skill and just like creativity. And he's also very patient with helping people understand kind of how they need to navigate the whole video thing. So at every level, if it's just like a Facebook ad that you need a video for, he can handle that. If it's a promo video for your business, he can handle that. If you want a kind of a documentary, well, you hate the word documentary. What would it be? Like let's call it valuetainment. That's the new buzzword. Like an entertaining video about your business that also provides value. He can help you with that. He does music videos. He does full, what do you call it? Full length, full feature. What do you call it?
Feature films, yeah.
Feature films. He can do any level, pretty much any budget. And you will be amazed at the power of video. So if you're considering doing something like you want to grow that YouTube channel, or you just want to make a difference on your website, that too, you guys, it's like Jason said, when it used to be a video made you just pop up everywhere because no one was doing it. And remember the days when you go to a website and you'd be like, that's so cool, they have a video on their site. Now, you better have a video. Like, it's no longer an option. Right. You have to join the game. It's time to play. Yeah. So at whatever level.
Like Seth was talking about last week, last Friday.
Oh, yes.
The story. And that's interesting enough is the route that I was coming from, getting into the digital marketing side of things. Originally, I was applying my video production, filmmaking background to digital marketing and saying, well, I just would like to see the digital marketing help support the video production services I'm providing.
I see.
But over time, that all shifted because I started to see the real power of the search engine optimization and what would happen if a website is optimized properly to begin with. And then the second part of that, which I really do like to take pride in, is that engagement portion. Once somebody gets to the website, getting traffic to the site is one thing, but you get people there and there's just nothing that enthralls people and wants them to stay and engage and move on. And video is a really important aspect of that conversion. I would say that it's maybe even better than having a salesperson in some cases that you're talking to live, because you kind of get to sit there and cross your arms and watch the video and decide if within the interview you like where that person's coming from, and you make that emotional connection with them right out of the gate. And so by the time they get done watching the video, they go through their process, somebody's already made a decision that they like and trust you. They may not know, but they like and trust you. And so it makes such a huge difference when they make that phone call. Yeah. And so bringing them to the website's one thing, keeping them engaged and generating an actual lead is something else. And that's between you and I. That's something, again, that I think is really unique that we provide as a team. And one of the reasons I like working with you so much is you care so much about your clients and what they really need. And so you're always paying attention to what's working, what's not working, what we could be doing better, and really taking it to a whole nother level. And so I think we do make a great team in that sense.
Yeah, the thing is, everyone, like, to me, it really is always about, everything is a relationship. And to me, that is what digital marketing is really. It's facilitating a relationship to come to an end result, to meet a need or several, okay? So when Jason's talking about engagement on the website, I know from running Facebook ads that, I don't know what the stats are today, but the last time I did a deep dive in this, it was like 92% of people that go, or maybe it was 98%, 92 to 90, let's say 95%, okay, of people that go to the website bounce, which means they look at your website as if it's like picking up a brochure at the hair salon or something, and you're looking through it and you just kind of drop it, okay? That's what happens. And you have invested in this beautiful website, you're invested in your SEO. Well, don't waste it. You've got to take that relationship to the next step. So what that means is engagement and calls to action, which is all part of search engine optimization. Think of it as every marketing investment that you make, you're just open, you know, you're going out to the white picket fence, you're waving at the neighbor, and then they come over, and then the next thing you want to do is invite them to brunch or your picnic or your potluck on Sunday, right? When they come, make sure that your house is clean and that you have something great to offer them. That's what you need to do on your website. So having a video that just says, you know, here's a safe way for you to get to know us. We're not going to hammer you where, you know, that Facebook lead comes in and I'm on the phone, and although I tell people get on the phone immediately, but you're not going to be like, yes, we're here and you know, we're ready to pitch you. No, we are all too smart, all too savvy, all too jaded, all too sick of it. We need to engage with a story that is interesting and relevant to that tribe that you've worked so hard to get to your website. So it's step by step, piece by piece. And you know, I think too, like you said, the reason we work so well together is because we understand, I don't know, we understand human nature. Like, I guess we just care enough and have seen enough that it's very important to both of us that we're delivering what we say we're going to deliver. So I hope that we can provide a lot of value to everybody here who wants more information. And the video part is so fun, you guys. You get to tell your story, and it helps you learn more about who you are. And Jason makes it so easy and so comfortable, and there's a lot of pieces to that too, because people start to get nervous. And I'm going to say one more thing and then shut up and you can talk a minute. But you can do it. Doesn't, if you hire him to do a promo video, it doesn't mean you don't continue to do iPhone videos and, you know, like Zoom calls, and you do it all, because all of it is relevant and it meets different needs at different levels. Right? You agree?
Well, absolutely. I agree 100%. I mean, I think that when this whole YouTube revelation came around originally, and you saw videos coming out like what we're doing here, where you got a couple screens going on and
Yeah.
people talking on the computer, that became sort of the hip thing, you know, back in, I guess, early 2000s.
The hip thing.
Right. Yeah. You know, Leo Burnett has been one of the leading advertising agencies as long as I can remember. You know, they're the ones producing these Super Bowl commercials and doing these real super high end spots. And back in the early 2000s, when I saw their corporate video turn into basically no more than just a camera from their computer, I was like, oh boy, you know, we're in trouble for a while. But what's happened is now we've got so much saturation. Everybody's doing this.
Right.
So, you know, we're kind of tired of the talking head thing and ready for more engagement, ready to see the inside workings of something. We want to hear some more relevant situations and stories from people that engages us. It's more entertaining. And there's so many different facets that we can do that I haven't even begun to tap into from a production standpoint that I could help people with, that would be sort of cutting edge, I might say.
Like, what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, you know, it's a matter of what story you're trying to tell in the first place and how you're going to communicate that. So, you know, if you take story structure, you've got a beginning, middle, and an end. In that first act, you've got something that happens usually in the first 3 to 5 minutes of the film that's an attention getter. So, you know, what is the attention getter in your little short video? You look at it like a short story, short film. And is it somebody running on a trail that has suddenly tripped and fell and either broken an ankle or a leg or something, and, you know, needs attention? And, you know, how is that attention going to get to them, you know, sort of thing? How are they going to fix their problem? So you set up a scenario with whatever the company is that you're doing in a real life kind of situation that it has an emotional impact on someone. And these days we can use drones to help tell the story. We can go swim with sharks. We can do all kinds of things, that lend itself to some really dynamic aspects of storytelling that we couldn't do. I mean, it used to cost me $3,000 a day to go fly a helicopter and mount a camera on the bottom of the helicopter and be able to get an aerial view of something. And
Crazy.
yeah, so a lot of us take that for granted now when we see stuff, but I'm still amazed every time I send a drone up in the air and I get this beautiful aerial view shot. And a lot of times people come back to me afterwards and say, that footage looks great. What did you do different? Well, part of that is not just flying a drone. It's knowing photography and being in that field for 30 plus years now, and knowing how to expose and knowing how to do color balance and then composition, some of those basic things that a drone pilot isn't necessarily thinking about.
Right.
So bringing all this in with all the marketing we've been talking about, with the search engine optimization and creating dynamic video backgrounds for people's websites and doing all that kind of stuff is stuff that we haven't even begun to really tap into yet. Not to mention taking things to a whole nother level with resolution. And, there's some programs being released here in the near future that are going to allow me to go all the way up to about 26K.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
So 4,000 lines of resolution, 8,000 lines of resolution,
Yeah.
10, all the way up to 26.
That's crazy, really?
It's like being, in a reality different world.
It's virtual real. Okay, this is so intriguing. Now we're just having a conversation. No one else is even watching it by now, probably. Or we'll split it up into segments. Do you need to go? I want to ask you something. This has gone on a long time. But this is so intriguing to me, Jason, because first of all, the storyline of it, like it's not just beginning, middle, end, and I know there's more. It's always the hero's journey, right?
You're right. Yeah.
It's the hero's journey and the mythology and the symbolism. I mean, there's so much. It's so rich, and there's so many things you can do. So a lot of people, like when they started doing the behind the scenes, I love that too, because you think of, like, I always think of, I love the French restaurant here, La Crêperie, and how they have, they kind of show you what's the guy's name? Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I hope he doesn't see this. I can't think of it. But anyway.
I've never been. I don't know.
You've never been in there?
No, I haven't. I know what you're talking about, but I've never been in there.
You live without going there. Okay, well, and so, I don't know, there's this thing about croissants, okay? Croissants, I can't say it right, but there was this place in San Francisco when I lived there. I used to go, and the experience of watching any French pastry chef, it's unbelievable. So anyway, I'm getting off track, but it's kind of like showing, anything in the background, a brewery or whatever. It's great and it's cool, but we've all kind of seen that now. It's not that unique anymore. And we're all very familiar with the reality TV shows and stuff like that. So there has to be a new way that is fresh. We will never stop telling the story of the hero's journey, because that's the only option for living. Like, that's how we all live. That's everybody's story. But there are fresh, unique ways of telling that. And that is what I'm very interested in. I mean, when I finally realized life isn't actually going to be a musical, it was very disappointing. And I do have a friend that I think I shared with you. That's what they do. They turn every business's story into a musical, which is really, really fun, but it's pretty expensive. Like, you have to be a pretty big person to do, or company to do that. But there's so many creative things. So I just am interested in opening up that conversation. Like, what does that mean to people, and where can we go with that?
Yeah. I think that's a whole nother topic in itself. And I'd love to get some more people on here and bounce ideas and brainstorm that, a lot further. There really are. There's something new ideas coming out all the time. You see it all the time on Facebook. They got
I
new
know.
things happening and this really cool stuff. And here we are in this digital era. And it's one of the reasons I got back into the video production side. I was, happy going down the SEO side of the business, and I saw all these cool toys and everything coming out. I'm like, I can't sit on the sidelines anymore. I got to jump back in, and I got to be a part of this because, it's amazing. And now I can truly combine everything. I think as I had originally intended to do, between combining that media with that marketing side and bringing the two full circle and together. So I feel like I've just begun, in this journey. And I mentioned yesterday that I had sort of a surprise announcement for you.
Oh, yes, tell.
So it looks like one of the films that, and I'm not going to mention names or anything right now until it's officially released, but one of the films that we're in process of development on is going to get greenlit. So we're going to be making a major motion picture, in the near
Really?
next 6 to 9 months. Yeah. So kind of jumping back into that arena a little bit, and I'll be able to do that simultaneously to what we're doing with the marketing. You'll just see me doing a lot more of this kind of stuff on set in the future. And,
Congratulations, that's super exciting. Can you tell us any?
well, I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you, and it gets really messy, because it's all top secret stuff and secret agent like.
Okay, so every time.
I've got to wait till we got the official release, because you know what they say, it's not real until the money is in the bank, right? So
every time you have an update, I expect you to come in our group and share it live. Okay.
Well, it's part of what I'm doing for this project is I'm taking all the marketing that I've learned over the last 15 years and applying that to the digital footprint of this particular film. So I'll be working hand in hand with the studios and doing the publicity and bringing in the actors and interviewing and doing all that stuff behind the scenes on set. So it'll be a part of this ongoing process, which is.
Will it be a locally shot or in multiple locations? Or
I will say that we're going to take it to Oklahoma. Is where it's going to be made. Oklahoma's got some of the best film incentives in the whole country at the moment, and so we're able to create an unbelievable package there. And
maybe I should have sent you over some tequila so you were drinking and I could get more information out of you. It is happy hour. So should I just ask the right questions? Or am I going to have to just be patient and wait?
You have to be patient. It's just something I can't release publicly as far as the details of the project. But
I'm so excited for you.
We did get one that has been greenlit. So
cheers.
Yeah, I'm out of my water now.
Me too. So just pretend.
That's right. So anyway, Michelle, I appreciate it, and I appreciate working with you, and I think so highly of you and what you do for your clients. So
thank you.
The thing that you're doing, I think it's gonna really be important in the future. This is a medium that people can embrace and go back and watch stuff, in the future that they didn't even know was being done at the time. And
I hope they do.
You're creating a valuable library of content here, I think, for sure.
Well, I appreciate that. I hope they actually do. I think we're so inundated and saturated, and there's so much information everywhere. So I'm very interested in exploring unique ways of delivering content. And if I'm going to start putting more time into what I do with video communication, yeah, I have some kind of weird ideas, but we'll have to talk about that later.
Fun
I
we can
think
have with people, you know, if you can make people laugh, especially, I mean, that's always a good thing.
I
Yeah.
don't think I can make people, well, I don't want to make them laugh in a bad way though, but I do think that, I don't know, I think that a lot of barriers have been broken and things that were not, I don't know, people are very closed in more ways, but they're also more open in other ways.
Right.
So the idea in my mind is let's always look for the advantage and always look for the opening and always look for the opening of how we can connect more authentically and deeply with people. And how do we, oh, this guy's calling me 3 hours late. Hold on. So anyway, I appreciate you so much. And thank you for your time. I think that like this, I don't know what the new thing is, like everybody's like praying to each other. Have you noticed that? People go like, is it like namaste or is it, I think that could offend some people. But all these people are sending me like prayer hands now that don't, people that are not like religious or Christian or whatever. So I think maybe like it just means like I salute you or something. Because
I think it's a peaceful gesture, you know. They want you to know that they have your best interest at heart, and
I have your best interest at heart.
yes.
Yeah, it's either going to be like a bow or like you tip your hat or like you I don't think women are going to curtsy.
Well, I missed that, right?
I would go down that road for sure. Yeah. White gloves and yeah.
I can see it. And
That,
yes, I can see it. Totally see it.
that is totally appropriate now to go back to like wearing gloves and hats and such.
Yeah, that's right.
Especially in Colorado, can't you see it? Yeah, I know. Like on the bank today, I thought it was so funny. They still have the sign up that says remove sunglasses, hoodies, and hats, but wear a mask. What a weird world. Like you keep saying the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. Well, that is a fact.
There's a lot of that going on, you know, right now for sure. And
yeah,
is navigating this the best that we can as we go.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get things turned around and move onward and upward.
Well, this has been super fun, Jason. I appreciate you jumping on, and I hope people watch this and come and ask us questions and let us help them in creative and foundational ways. So we've got it all, you guys, like the basic boring stuff that you have to do and the huge mountain that you can climb once you're strong. Because if you climb a mountain and create a beautiful video for your beautiful website, who cares if no one can find it?
Right.
We've got you covered on the whole polarity and everything in between. So thanks everybody. Have a great, fantastic weekend. I'm going to jump on here tomorrow and do a quick video and talk about a local company that I'm helping promote. If I get up early enough and get my workout done, then I'll be on here again. But Jason, this has been awesome. Let's do it again.
And there's Dexter in the background. You can see him. He was the one barking earlier. So in fact, let me see if we can get him over here. Come here, Wade. Come here.
This is what happens when you do happy hour with people, you guys. You're lucky I don't have 6 kids I want to introduce you to.
Introduce you. Yes. All right. This is Dexter.
Oh, Dexter. Oh, you're so cute. Wait, let me see his whole face. He's adorable.
Yeah, American Staffordshire, same breed as Petey from the Little Rascals. So,
that's perfectly appropriate type of dog for you. That's adorable.
Yeah,
he's adorable. Dexter is adorable.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
I have nothing to show you. I am pet free. My son is in Texas playing music, so I have nothing to show you here.
Huh, what were those images, you know, going back and forth behind you this whole time?
What?
I don't
It's
know.
my ghost images.
Ghosts, yeah. I had some ghosts going back and forth.
Actually, I have like these angels around me all the time that are just like leading me in amazing, happy directions. That's what you're seeing, like angels all around
Yes,
me.
that must have been it. They must have been blowing and making your hair blow in the wind and everything, you know. Before.
Yeah, no dogs, no cats, no porcupines, nothing. No responsibilities. Just all my clients, which are like having a family of 100 children. So yeah. Okay, I'm signing off. I got work to do, but it's great talking to you. It's been super fun. And we will be talking shortly because I'm sending you some stuff.
Okay.
Okay. I actually do need to talk to you about a client. So
Okay.
thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
See you later. Thank you, everyone. Bye.